And a very good morning, everyone. Welcome into the Punters Lounge, brought to you in association with Valachi Downs. Hope your holiday racing period is going well. We'll do our very best to try and help you out to get involved. Couple of domestic meetings today. Of course, Martin Cup Day, Awapuni. They race on a dead four there, very few scratchings. And where the surf meets the turf. Whangarei will be up there as well. Stephen Hunt standing by in Petone. Very good morning to you, Stephen. Looking forward to today's racing. Plenty of opportunities for the punters to get involved.
Absolutely, Greg, both on reasonable tracks. Good three up and down the country at Ruakaka and also at Awapuni. A couple of well-supported runners in the first 2 to 3 days since betting commenced during the week, Greg. Kicking off in race 1 at Ruakaka, the rating 72, 1400, Mercy Hill, who looks to be a pace influence, possibly leading from the A straw. Kelly McCulloch does the riding. Well supported as soon as betting commenced on this individual. $4.50 we posted, now $3.40 chance. Mercy Hill in the first at Ruakaka. And down the CD, Ruakaka, my old mate Cinerama, punters reinvesting after collecting a 6-figure total sum a few weeks back on the Alan Sharrock runner on Cinerama. In race 4, number 6, the rating 72, 1400. Cinerama went up 270 from memory, Greg. It's now been backed into 220, and it's on the back of a $5,000 bet at $2.20 this morning. And earlier in the week, we accepted a $20,000 bet at the opening line at $2.70 on the daughter by Darcy Brahma.
Yeah, she's been very, very good. We're going to catch up with Alan Sharrock very shortly. Stephen Hunt will be with us throughout the Punters Lounge, but let's set the scene around the country for the first of our 2 domestic meetings today. We're on the meeting code of 2, Ruakaka, of course, high of 27, light winds and sea breezes, just perfect there for today, I'm sure. Racing on a good 3 and the running rail in the true position. So that's the meeting code of 2. Martin Cup Day, Awapuni, dead 4. We're racing on there. And a spectacular looking day there in the CD as well. Looking forward to the program there. Starts at 12:15, high of 25. Westerly wind picking up. We're on the dead 4 and the running rail is out 5 metres.
It's another Group 1 for James McDonald, and she's sensational, won it. She's sensational, she charged away, and she's another Group 1 winner. She's sensational, brilliant. She's sensational, Spiro on the inside giving plenty. She's sensational, and Spiro as they go to the post. I think she's sensational, done it. She is simply stunning.
She's sensational! She is back in business! What a performance! She gets the prize! Great training effort, Alan Sharrock, take a bow.
Yeah, it doesn't get old reliving some of those great memories of She's Sensational. I think she got about 4 Group 1s, $1.4 million, a dozen wins, joined by her trainer in Alan Sharrock. Doesn't get old for us watching some of She's Sensational's outstanding performances, Al, and I'm sure it doesn't get old for you. Compliments of the season to you.
Same to you, Greg. Yeah, they're good memories. We just, hopefully this little girl can get half as good as her, you know.
Well, you're starting to relive some of those already with her. She's been very good thus far, this 4-year-old mare. She just took a little bit of time, Alan, is that fair to say?
Yeah, she was ready to go as a 3-year-old, and I thought I'd get black type, and unfortunately she suffered an injury, and it just set us back 6 months, and we lost our 3-year-old season. But it could end up a blessing in disguise too. She's starting to mature now, and we might have a fully matured product next year, you know.
Look, what she's done so far, Alan, we're having a look at this performance at Awapuni, and of course she was really good this day. She absolutely bolted in. Expectations around this day to today, are you as confident, and is she as well?
Yeah, I think she's every bit as well. Every grade gets a little bit tougher, Greg, but you know, the way she's won her 2 races sitting 3 wide, not many ponies can do that, and yeah, if she gets half a run in the race, she's got to be the hardest to beat. She could end up a very special mare.
What have you got planned for her, if anything, at this stage, or is it just a case of taking her through her grades and probably getting her race tractability a little bit more solid?
Yeah, she's still got to learn the game. I'm sort of thinking if she won today, I might have a crack at the Duro Cup on the minimum. It's a good horse's race. She'll have a crack at black type sometime in this season, but I don't really want to push the button until next year. So I'm a little bit guarded at this stage where I go and what I do, but she's progressing really, really well at this stage.
Given what Mum was able to achieve, is she showing you indications she'll get out a fair way distance-wise?
Yeah, she'll get a mile and a half. She's sort of a mare that I've got fresh legs in her today, and she'll need that at 1,400 metres. She was probably looking for a mile when she won her last start, but I've backed off her for a month, and she'll go at Bonnie 1,400, and they'll know she's there. But ultimately, she's a 2,000 metre mare, and next year you'll see her at best at that distance,
Well, someone's plonked 20,000 on her at $2.70. She's now into 2.20, so that's a challenge and a fair bit of weight on her back. And also one T. Kemp's involved in the ownership. What's he like as an owner?
Yeah, he's quite amusing, actually, Greg. You know him personally. He's normally the one that puts the Jonah on the horses and stops them from running, but he can't stop this one. So, and he couldn't stop Coe either. So, no, he's a good boy to have on board, mate, and he's flying down with Bruce today. So, yeah, we're hoping we get a good result and we have a good night tonight.
Yep, I'm picking you'll have regardless. That's the first of your runners in. Alan, let's have a look at, you got three in, of course, and Mars Bars is the next to have a look at. Sam Collett doing the riding. $9 the price about Mars Bars. Blonde Line's had its measure recently, $4.60 the favourite. Hanger, Leith Innes. Inside draw, fresh up for the Roger James Welford team, of course. And where do you assess Mars Bars' chances today in the fifth?
I've just got a funny feeling, Greg, that the firm track may take the glint out of her. She'll probably run today and have a month off and come back for the autumn. She'll be competitive, but it's ended up a very, very good 82 field, so she'll need a very good run in the race to be a place-bearing position.
We're just having a look at her most recent performance, Alan, finishing in third. Blonde Line is dead set flying at the moment, 4 in a row. Jonathan Parks, who is the favourite for the Jockeys Challenge there, has the ride once again, and $4.60. I'm sure the people looking at that form line may even be interested in having a crack there. Last year runners, Alan, in today is Hoist again, Sam Collett to do the riding. First up run, tell me about your assessment of that, finishing in 5th position. From a quote of $6.50 into $5.50, good gate, 15.50, dead 4. There looks to be a lot of ticks there, Al.
Yeah, I just think he's probably at good odds in the last. Had a jump out last Friday, I think it was, and he didn't win it, but he was under a stranglehold. We had a little bit of a problem with a lung infection. We've cleared that up, and yeah, I'm thinking he's a strong each-way chance in the last from a good barrier with a tidy jockey on.
We're just having a look at the latest performance of the son of Raise the Flag, and this was, of course, at Te Rapa. Not an easy track to come from as far back, but he did a pretty good job of it, Alan.
Yeah, and he sat 3 wide the trip that day, Greg, so there was more merit to that run than probably viewers see. So, yeah, I think he's going to present pretty well today.
Alan, you got the 3 runners in. Logic would suggest that Cinerama is the best of those, now at a quote of $2.20 is getting pretty skinny. Is she by far and away the best, though?
Yeah, she is, mate. Yeah, she's got the pedigree, got the temperament, and she's got the form. So, yeah, she's got a few ticks, but I wouldn't rule the horse out in the last. He's a strong each-way chance.
All right, that's Hoist, $5.50, $1.80 with the bookies at this stage. Hey, Alan, thanks so much for your time, and wish you all the very best today.
Thanks, buddy. See you, mate.
It's Alan Sherrick, quality trainer, strike rate trainer, and if he says Hoist is worth having something on in the last on an each-way basis, I would be suggesting you do that now, because the $5.50 may shorten even more. Short break for us here on the Punters Lounge, of course, with Valachi Downs. Plenty more information coming, including from gun jockey Leith Innes.
at the 250. Whiskey Neat, the leader, leads by 2 from AOT Lad. Exuberant last sight. It's still Whiskey Neat. AOT Lad's trying hard, so too is Exuberant. Whiskey Neat starting to wobble around a bit, but he's too good. Whiskey Neat. At the 150, it's Can't Stop the Feeling in front. Look at Shirley Sacred, and now more wonder getting out late. Shirley Sacred from last has swept to the lead, and that's a huge win.
Leith, what have you found here?
You know, it's pretty exciting. They weren't going that hard up front, and got them out and pushed the button. That was there pretty quick.
Very much in form, Leith Innes already had a handful of wins over the Christmas racing period and a placing at Group 1 level, of course, with John Snow. He's kindly joined us on the phone. Compliments of the season to you, Leith. Looking forward to the day, I'm sure, at Awapuni today.
Yeah, good morning, Greg. Same to you.
Look, things have been going really well for you. A couple of those performances we've just had a look at there we'll touch on a little bit later on, but let's see if it can roll into today as well. Petrobella, the first of your rides, this one for the Murdochs, 11s and $2.45. Leith, the filly by Piero was pretty good. You rode on that occasion first up at Avondale. Tell me about the Ellerslie run and what was the issue there?
Look, it was probably a better run than it looked on paper, Greg. The whole field sort of veered out into the middle of the track, and she was left on the inside. And being only her second start and around Ellerslie, she was pretty lost up the straight. So, look, Maura's taken her time with her, brought her down here for a triple way, and if things work out the plan today, she'll go to the Desert Gold Stakes in 2 weeks. So, you know, she's really got to put her hand up today too.
Leith, we pretty much have to go on the first up performance then. We're just having a look at it now. Found the line really strongly, so no reason to think that if she can get back to what she showed here, she can go pretty good again.
Yeah, exactly. There's only 7 runners, so they're probably not going to go overly hard. But look, as long as she's hitting the line late and she shows something today, you know, I really like this filly going forward once she steps up over ground as well.
All right, she takes on a pretty handy field. Sir Nate's there. Of course, you've got the Canterbury Bell winner from Riccarton Park and Emily Margaret. Miss Labassa's unbeaten in 2, so it'll be a pretty good gauge I'm picking there. Continuing on with a look at rides today for Leith Innes, and race number 4 is the next we do have a look at. If in doubt, you ride here. Close up at Te Rapa, likes to race on the speed. Yeah, again, there's a few things to like about If in Doubt today.
Yes, Greg, look, it was good last start. To be fair, he sort of got there and pulled up the last sort of 20 metres, and probably won't be hitting the front so soon today. But look, I've just walked the track out here at Palmerston Off, and it's pretty firm. Yeah, so it's going to be to his liking.
We're just having a look at that performance when second last time. Takes on the Smarty out of the Alan Sherrick barn in Cinerama, and out of She's Sensational. We just had a look at both horses. She's Sensational, how good she was, and how well Cinerama's done. Look, obviously it's the one to beat, Leith.
Yeah, for sure. But no, they'll know he's here anyway.
All right, looking forward to seeing it in race number 4. Let's have a look at race number 5, and your ride here, of course, is Hanger. It is the favourite, 320 and 115. We haven't seen this horse in a wee while, but it's out of the James Wellwood barn. We know he'll be ready to go. He's by O'Reilly. He showed us so much last time in. His latest performance was in the Breeders. In behind Power Ohata, so that was at Group 3 level. Inside draw 2. A bit to like about the return of Hanger today.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad to be back on him today. And look, there's a lot of horses going to this race. Wolf runs under their belt, the hard set, and he comes in with no trial under his belt. So whatever he does today, he's going to improve on. But he's still got to be a great chance in the race. Just
having a look at him here, finishing second at Te Rapa in behind Power Ohata. and that was a quality performance. Almost got there on the line. Leith, a couple of other rides for you. Shared Secrets, latest performance was a winning one, $4.80, takes its place in race number 6.
Yeah, I've actually rode her in the same race here last year, and look, she's a nice big scopy sort of in there, and she's got a couple of quirks, but she was strong last start, so I'm more than happy to be on her today.
You're right in the Cup, Leith, is Jack Star, $6 chance. You've actually ridden him a couple of times, but it's a wee way back in his form line. He was very unlucky in the Manawatu Cup, trained by Gary Vile. A definite threat today, I would have thought.
Yeah, no, look, he looks like a really good chance today. Gary was a little bit concerned about the firm track, but he's got to get a run into him today before the Wellington Cup. And look, his run was full of merit last start, which I think he'll come out of the race. I think he's spot on today, I reckon.
All right, good book of rides for you. Is the one you're most looking forward to Hanger returning?
Yeah, definitely. Look, he's had a couple of little problems along the way, but he's one of those horses that over time he's got better and better to ride. Earlier on he was quite a difficult horse, but if he does things right today, hopefully he's my best chance.
Leith, thanks so much for your time. Busy time of year with all the riding. Are you getting a lot of golf in? I know how keen you are on the white ball game.
I had a game yesterday, but it was quite windy, so the handicap looked like it was going out a little bit short maybe. So, yeah.
I'm picking those who play against you wouldn't like to see your handicap going out, Leith, but we'll leave that there for the day. We appreciate you coming on and wish you all the best out of Awapuni. Thanks, Greg. Cheers, mate. Bye. Leith Innes, remarkable career. He's ridden over 1,400 winners, $30 million in stakes, and whenever he gets on one, regardless of where it is, Stephen Hunt, there's always a lot of respect around him.
Absolutely, Greg. And if I could give an early lead in today's J Challenge at Awapuni, they are sticking with Leith Innes, even though he's in that second line of betting at $6.50. There you see selection 2, Leith Innes. 6 rides in total, as you've seen graphically moments ago. There was a lead on what is the best bat runner out of his team. It would be Hanger, the shortest priced favourite at $3.20, but they are speccing Jack Star, Leith Innes' ride in the Martin Cup as well. In terms of the Jockey Challenge, $1.35 you see Jay Parks. He's going to be awfully hard to beat with 7 rides. Miss Labasa, Cinerama, which we've already touched on, and Scar Lowy, the best backed out of his team. You see there option 410, combined wins, Leith Innes, Lisa Allpress. Lisa Allpress who sits 3rd line in the J Challenge. 1 win or less, selection 1, $1.85. Selection 2, exactly 2 wins, $2.80. And selection 3, 3 or more wins at, I think it was around about $4. But yeah, so we've got plenty of J Challenge specials revolving around the jockeys, not just at Awapuni, Greg, but also up at Ruakaka. Yep, $4.40 if you think that combination can provide 3 or more wins. Stick with us in the Punters Lounge. When we return, we'll be heading up to Ruakaka and catch up with a lady who knows a thing or two about that track.
You were right. I know I can't get enough of you. Leave it all to bloom. You were right. I know I can't get... I got this feeling inside my bones.
Lizzie Lamore, the leader. Dance, levels up on the outside. They're 3 lengths in front from John Snow. And then further back in the field, Authentic Paddy. O.P. Boston says it's dance time, and dance. Bolted away by 3 from Lizzie Lamore, John Snow and Authentic Paddy. She's got her back-to-back Group 1s and she's bolted in. Dance. Brilliant.
Michelle, you weren't on track for the Trentham Group 1, but today you are. What's that like?
I think there'll be a few people dancing tonight.
I think you might be one of them.
I think so. I've got no words. I'm just, I'm ecstatic. OP, Group 1 rider. Oh, it's amazing.
What does this horse mean to you?
She means a great deal to all of us. We take her down to the paddock every day and bring her back up. The staff at home, they do a fantastic job. It's just amazing. Yeah, no, I'm very lucky to be part of it, really. It's really cool.
Yeah, pretty special horse, particularly for Michelle Bradley, who of course trains with Chris Gibbs. And Michelle joins us on the line now. We had Chris on leading into Dan's Dance's win at Group 1 level there. It's great to have you, Michelle, and I suppose things have settled down a little bit, given how busy you'll be today, but it's still great to look back just over a week ago.
Yeah, morning, Greg. I just got goosebumps listening to all of that, so brings it all back. But yeah, a little bit quieter today. We've got quite a few horses in, but not as big a day, not a Group 1 day, that's for sure.
Tell us how she came through that Group 1 winning performance. She's $1.80 now to win the Herbie Dyke. Does that add a little bit more pressure, or is she just coping so well with it? It's only a case of just ticking her over and getting her there 100%.
Yeah, a little bit more pressure for us, definitely. But she's come through the race really well. We've had her in the paddock, just bringing her back and forwards from the paddock the last week, and had a saddle on her the last couple of days, and she's bouncy and back to her normal self. It hasn't bothered her at all. She's licking her bowl clean, which is just unbelievable for what she's been doing. So very happy.
Yeah, it's an awesome story. Let's hope it can long continue, and we look forward to seeing her in the Herbie Dyke. Let's get through some of your runners, particularly the favoured ones today. Michelle, Viva La Blues takes its place in race number 3. Smallish field now with the scratching. $2.50 Cameron Lammis to do the riding. In the New Zealand Derby market at around 126. If you're looking to go forward to that, then should be taking care of business here.
Yeah, look, 6 left in the field. Unfortunately, Mrs. Trillo passed away a few days ago. So Vern let us know during the week. So condolences to the family. So I'm hoping she can step up today and do the best for Margaret.
We're having a look at the most recent performance, Michelle. The way she found the line would indicate she should be more than competitive here.
Yeah, definitely. She's improved with the run, 1,400 metres this time in. It's definitely up her alley. She's drawn 6. Very happy with how she's coming into it. So I'm quite confident on this one.
Okay, it's good to know. Very confident there. Let's move on to the next of our runners that we want to have a look at for you, and it is Call Me Murphy, another one in the market for the Vodafone New Zealand Derby, $2.40. It sounds a familiar sort of a story here. Cameron Lammis to do the riding, and looks more than competitive in this, the 4th as well.
Yeah, look, he should be competitive in this, stepping him up to a mile. Would like to think that, he's definitely going to step up and show us something today. It will show, he may need to sting out of the ground, but it'll be a good test today as we'll see how he gets on. But his run last start at Pukekohe, it was not a bad effort. So I'm hoping he gets to 1,600 and he'll be right there.
You also have Red Dynamo in the race, Michelle, and Matt Cameron to do the riding. How do you assess the son of Ekra's chances?
Look, he's another one. We're going to know after today if he's another one that's going to need easing out of the track. He's pretty well bred. He's a half to a horse that's already finished second in the New Zealand Derby. He's a lovely horse. It's just if the track's going to be too good for him today. That's my only fear on that one.
Okay, moving on to race number 5, and favouritism here is with Boogie Easy. I guess it's along the same lines as Dan's Dance, so if it could deliver again, there might be some of that going on post-race number 5.
Yeah, definitely. Look, she's her debut run, that was really impressive. We're quite excited about that. And then at Ellerslie, she did everything right. It was another good run, and she's trained on well. Just easing up, doing everything perfect. So she's another one that I've put in one of my top picks today. So it would be good for the connections to pick up one for her today.
Nice draw. has been a shortener into $2.30, and yeah, as I said, a similar type performance should go very close in that. Race number 7's the next we want to have a look at with you, Michelle, and here Jake the Muss is a $3.20 favourite and looks very hard to beat. Actually, there's a trotter down south at Timaru today of the same name. Maybe the Jake the Muss double might be the way to go.
That would be great. Hey, look, we gave him a spell. We brought him back and we kicked him off at Te Rapa, took the blinkers off him and just rode him cold, and he kicked home, got to the line really strong, and that's exactly what we wanted to see. Today, left all the gear off him, and we'll be riding him in a similar pattern, and like to see him get back in the winner's circle. He showed plenty before, so it's just getting him back on track.
He's got a good record second up, placed in 2 of 3. You also have Final Suggestion in this one. The son of any suggestion, races really well at the track, as basically all of yours do, Michelle. What about today?
Just watching the replay you've got on now of his race at Te Rapa. Look, we've just forgotten about that run. Lisa just got off and, he's just too dour. So, and it had a break as well. So we've just stepped him up straight over the 2,100 metres. We've got side winkers on him today. And we'd just like to see that form reverse.
Solar Tide, Boom Boom Basil and My Sky in the last. Do you separate them at all?
My Sky's been knocking on the door. She's been so unlucky with barrier draws, especially over the winter up here. But funny enough, she's actually gone in better races with the bad barrier draws. So look, I've put her once again in my top. Boom Boom Basil, he ran on really well last start, and Solar Tide put the blinkers on him last start, but just didn't really suit him, so I've taken him off again today. Has drawn 12, but he's another one that should be hitting the line. Out of these, I'm going to go My Sky in the top here, but extremely happy with the whole 3.
All right, $3.80 about My Sky. Now, Michelle, a slightly more challenging situation here than Chris had the other day when you only had the one runner in, so therefore he could only make Dan's Dance the best of the day. What about for you at Ruakaka today?
I'm not a very good tipster, and I don't like putting anything on top, to be honest with you. I'm going to go Viva La Booze. And that's clearly, I'm hoping she gets up, especially for Vern Trillo and the family. That would be fantastic.
We hope that unfolds as well, Michelle. Thanks so much for your time to you and Chris and your hard-working team. We wish you all the very best there today.
Thank you so much, Greg.
Excellent. Michelle Bradley there speaks very well, doesn't she? And what a combination they have become. They're already up to about 23 wins for the season. And, of course, Dan's Dance flying the flag superbly well for them. Short break for us. You are on the Punters Lounge with Valachi Downs. When we come back, time for us to start assessing the feature race meeting of the day. Welcome back into the Punters Lounge. Before we get into the big Meat and Martin Cup Day there at Awapuni, chance for us to head across the Tasman, have a look at both Randwick today on the Kensington track and, of course, Caulfield as well. Brad Gray has kindly joined us on the line. We're on the meeting code of 11 for Randwick today. They race on a good track. Look at that high, 36. True position for the running rail. And you'd need to be well and truly hydrated, I would be picking. Brad, as I say, compliments of the season to you. Looking forward to your insight today.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. You're not wrong. It's already warm. It's only 9 o'clock over here, and I'm already got a bit of sweat on my brow, so we'll certainly have to keep the beverages up. I'm looking forward to a beer, certainly, after the races today. It's an interesting meeting because it was originally put down for Warwick Farm, but given the temperatures were going to be soaring, as we know Warwick Farm's out in the west, and it would be even hotter out there, so they made the decision to put it over to the Kenzo track, which is the inner circle there at Randwick. The way the track's been playing is really fairly, so I think we can take a bit of confidence into the meeting, knowing that the best horse will win.
Right, you're having a look for your best. Chris Waller, trained runner as well, goes round in race number 7 in Gresham, and they will be claiming today.
Yeah, that's the big key here. You look at the weight of this horse, and Robbie Dolan rides it. He can get right down in the weight, so he's going to take the full 3 off its back and down to 49 kilos. Now, I know a lot of punters out there will need to take a bit of a deep breath when you back Gresham, especially at the odds, because he isn't a horse that many punters have been on the right side of in the past, but he certainly won't get a better chance to bring up win number 4 here than today. This race is completely tailor-made for him. As I said, 49 kilos. He's 4th up out to 15.50. I think that's perfect. He should map to get straight to the front, I imagine, without spending any petrol. He's drawn a kind barrier there. Just lands in front, and he's going to be really hard to run down with the 49 kilos. You just have to overlook the fact that he's been beaten a fair few times as favourite in his career. But I think he's been going okay this prep, and if he gets complete control, he's going to give them something to chase down. The odds, I admit, are probably rock bottom at the moment, so if you do like him, maybe just show a little bit of patience, and hopefully we get better come jump. But he's the best of the day. That's race 7, number 9, Gresham.
Yeah, $2.20 the current price. What about another way you might want to play it for us today? So you're going to kick off in race number 2 with a shorty and Easy Eddie, but that should help the multi.
Yeah, I guess you could throw him into your multis. It's been savaged by a few key scratchings this race. So originally it was posted $2.15 earlier in the week, and he looked a really good bet at that price. But yeah, right into the red now, so that's probably the way to do it. I expect him to win. He's another horse that just maps to get complete control. He's come back as good as ever, and I think he'll be winning again, but no, you don't need me to find him at $1.60 for your punters out there. As far as a couple of a little bit better odds that we can play around, I think race 5, number 1, Sweet Scandal, comes back a few cogs in grade. Another Chris Waller trained horse, and although it looked a little bit disappointing there last start after box seating, I think it was just a wet track, just didn't let down. It has won on a soft track in the past, but that can be a little bit deceptive because that was a Canterbury soft win, whereas a Randwick soft, 2 completely different beasts. Outside of the favourite Art of the Bar, there doesn't look to be a great deal of speed, so I think that'll offset the wide draw, come across, sit outside the leader, and give this race a really big shake. And then we can wait for one in the lucky last there. Another race that's been hit by a few scratchings, but you're still getting reasonable odds for this horse. You should be shopping at around $8, $8.50 for Toroso in race 9. Peter and Paul Snowden trained. 2 runs have been much better than they read on paper. First up, narrowly beaten in Newcastle by Futu. That horse has won 2 cents. And then it ran 3rd behind Thy Kingdom Come on the Kenzo surface. Was beaten a long way, but the way that race was won, it was just a real walk home at the end there. So Thy Kingdom Come stretched them out and just scooted home. So I think the margin was probably a little bit flattering to the winner. So I think we can take a little bit of confidence that this is a lightly raced horse, drawn 1, and out to the mile certainly suits. So I think there's plenty of scope for improvement in this horse, and he's worth a ticket in a really suitable race there in the last. That's race 9, number 13.
Yeah, we're getting $10 over here as well. Hey, thanks so much, Brad, for your time. Enjoy the heat, sort of.
Yeah, thanks. If you're getting $10 to roast, I might have to ring you up and get you to put a bet on for me, because that's terrific odds.
No worries at all. All right, that's Brad Gray there, and we look forward to racing coming in from Sydney. We've got Ben Asghari's selections around Caulfield, because they race today, 12, meeting code of 12, high of 21, so not so hot there, track conditions good, and the running rail in the true position. They kick off at 3 o'clock. And Ben Asghari has found us race 8, number 11, Mastering, $1.80. So again, a multiplayer there. Sakura in race 4, it's a $6 chance, race 4, number 1. And Just High for Luton in race number 5. Race 5, number 1, $6.50. So there's some thoughts around the key venues in Australia. WA have a pretty good race day there at Ascot today to boot. Short break for us. You're in the Punters Lounge. When we return, we will be heading to Awapuni Martin Cup Day.
You're gonna find out. You can't
Welcome back in to the Punters Lounge with Valachi Downs. It is Martin Cup Day, Awapuni, and have a bo peep at the shots here. Looks absolutely perfect for what should be a very good program there today. And Bevan Sweeney not too far away from joining us. Just confirmation of the weather for you. Jonathan Parks has an outstanding book of rides, and he's a short price favourite to win the Jockeys Challenge. 7 of them, in fact, at $1.35, a high of 25, a meeting code of 4, the running rail 5 metres out, and we race on that dead 4. Looking forward to getting into the preview with Bevan Sweeney. Always a good race day, this one, Bevan. I'm sure you're looking forward to it.
I am indeed, Greg. A very good morning to you and to all viewers of the Punters Lounge. Beautiful. That's all you can say. Summer's here. It's very fine overhead, very warm. Track's come up a dead 4, and with the weather that is forecast, we should, I imagine, get an upgrade. We'll get more information from Kim shortly. Yes, it is a great day of racing. Of course, the Martin Jockey Club, who closed down quite some period of time ago, now race here at Awapuni, so they have their cup here this afternoon. But we've got some really deep fields this afternoon throughout the program. A lot of times you come to the racetrack and you think, well, that's the big one for the afternoon, and there is one of those today. But around those remaining fields, it is very deep in nature form-wise, so you're going to get a result or two throughout to the program. As I mentioned, track has come up a dead 4, and to get the info around track conditions today, here's Kim Truick. Kim, summer's arrived.
It certainly has. Bit of a change from last week, but yeah, we're happy to have it.
Okay, we've got a dead 4 track condition with beautiful skies overhead. Yes,
we have. Obviously, we had 90+ mil of rain last week before the Boxing Day races, and it's been dry since. So we have had to irrigate. We irrigated over the weekend, and then we've put 16 mil over the last, say, 3 days, and that's just sort of topped it up. There's still plenty of moisture underneath, and yeah, pretty happy with the surface.
Okay, with the skies above and the temperature, is there a chance of an upgrade today?
Oh, it definitely is. Yeah, it definitely is. It's just going to sort of drain it out. But as I say, we've got plenty of moisture underneath, so it should pay pretty fair throughout the day.
Okay, a lot of racing. How's the track looking?
Remarkably good. Yes, we have had a lot of racing, and we get a month's break after this, so we're really looking forward to that. But yeah, the grass cover's good, and as I say, the rain probably didn't hurt at all last week for the long term.
Okay, rail?
The rail's at 5 metres, just putting us on the best part of the track. So, yeah, just giving that inside recovery time.
What you can take from that, Greg, I think, is that there will be no excuses today. This track looks fantastic. It'll be drying throughout the afternoon, and everyone should get their chance if there's good, strong tempo throughout the 8 race program.
Excellent, thanks for that, Bevan. Let's get straight into the preview. Race number 1 for us. We have a start time of 12:15. King's Cross at $2.80. $4.80 about Victor Vegas, but away from the favourite. Pretty open sort of a way to start the day here, Stephen.
It's 4 or 5 they've specced outside the favourite. Victor Vegas being one of them, 5.20 into 4.80. Greg in that second line of betting. Father Linehan, Robert Hannon does the riding here local. Lisa Ladder does the training here. $6 when betting commenced earlier in the week, now into $5. That includes a $1,000 bet on Father Linehan. But clearly the best bat runner in the first is with Stephen Marsh, King's Cross, who wasn't seen over Ellerslie throughout the carnival. It's had a little bit of a freshen up here, Greg. $3.70 when betting commenced during the week. We accepted a $2,000 bet at that price. Another $1,000 bet this morning at $3.20. It's clearly the best bat runner here, holds 50% of total turnover at a $2.80 quote.
Let's get into the speed map for race number 1. Just incidentally, I thought Father Linehan was really good last time. Should jump somewhere near the speed too, along with the Bandito here, Bevan.
Yeah, they look the early pace influences in this particular race, Greg. There's a lot of money, as Stephen mentioned, on King's Cross. I thought there was one forgotten in this particular race. When I looked at the form around Piece of Cake, she was only 2 lengths off Rhinestone Cowboy at Otaki. And this performance at Te Rapa is in a very strong weight for age fillies and mares race, in behind Belle de Nord. Now, she was back last on the corner in the hands of Shafiq Rougevov, came up the inside, and for a couple of bounds in this race, she thought she was going to be right in the mix. She got Lizzie Lamore out wide. Love Affair is in this race, and you see Belle de Nord storming down the outside. But, gee, the form around this race, if any of those horses, 3 out, 2 out, 1 out, in the middle there were in this particular race, they'd be a very, very short price favourite. And that was a really good run from Piece of Cake. And the run prior behind Rhinestone Cowboy was very, very good. So I just thought she was a little bit forgotten. So I'm going to show that one to you because I think the form lines are as strong as any in this particular race. And here is the one they've come for. It is King's Cross. This is a performance at Counties back on the 24th of November on the slow 7. And it was a little bit hindered in the run, as you can see. And once it got into the race, it was very, very good. It had to pick itself up off the deck really there at the 200 metre mark, so it was brave, and gee, it stretched nicely late in this particular race after the one that had gone past it. Put about 3 lengths on it, so there's a lot of form recommended around a horse that's able to take interference, rebalance up, flatten out, and find the line really nicely. So that's on top for me. Money out of the Marsh team does mean a lot when you're looking at investing into these types of races. Thought Piece of Cake's the forgotten horse, so I put that in for second. Victor Vegas very good last time. Maybe I just wonder about the better track conditions, but you can't take form away from in behind Beck in a flash, who's been very good through its entire career. And his father Lenihan was very, very good last time. He's not an overly big horse, but very, very competitive type of runner. So I marked him 3 to beat 1, 7 and 5 in race number 1.
Let's have a look at the second, because I'll be intrigued as to which way Bevan Sweeney is going here. We've got equal favourites, Sir Nate, form well and truly exposed, and Miss Labasa, who's unbeaten in 2. Hard to split them, Hunty.
260 each of 2, Greg. Yeah, bang on. Look, it didn't open that way. Sir Nate, $2.80 v Miss Labasa, $2.60. So a slight shortener around Sir Nate. Saying that, Miss Labasa holds 3 times more money than Sir Nate currently. And just the fact that they both come into this race on a freshen, they both haven't raced since the early part of November, just the way Miss Labasa maps v Sir Nate, I think that will declare her as a closing favourite later on this afternoon. A lot of multis suggesting that's the case as well. Emily Margaret solid in that third line of betting at $6. Ballios has been friendless, just a query on its maiden win. It was a bunch finish at HQ a few weeks ago, so that has been a notable drifter. But best lead I can give, Miss Labasa at $2.60, 3 times more money than the equal favourite in Sir Nate.
Where they land here, Bevan, is going to be imperative in terms of who we're going to back here. And outside of Miss Valencia, there's quite hard to line up where they're actually going to position up here. Help me out.
Well, I can't really help you out. I think Miss Labasa will get cover. It's an interesting race, this, and people out there will know that Jonathan's been riding both Sir Nate and Miss Labasa. It was one of those decisions where it was a coin toss. Sir Nate's been in good company. Miss Labasa seems to be a horse on the ride. That said, both of them may have a chink in their armour here this afternoon. Sir Nate's had a freshen up and hasn't had a jump out or trial post that. So he comes in fresh 1,400 metres, but geez, a tough little horse, isn't he? Rained this day and he got that inside draw, so they used it. The blinkers went on for this performance, and look, the winner's just too good. The inside horse has got a fair bit of ability as well. So he is very, very brave to the line. You've got More Wonder out wide, who has kicked a couple of goals post this. He's a competitive horse. He doesn't know how to go a bad race, so he'll be right in the mix. And I think he'll be on target for the 3-year-old mile out of Elysion Karaka Million Night. And Miss Labasa, she knows very little, and she has had a foot issue post this performance. She was supposed to be going to the 8 Carat and a couple of other races, but she just has had a foot issue. So I'd tread with a little bit of hesitancy around backing her too strongly today, because she's been a long time away from the races. Now, this is out of her debut win at Te Awaharaneke, up to Hastings against the older horses, and she knew nothing again. She was all over the place in the run, but she was good enough to hold on and win. She will develop into a lovely, strong horse come a little bit of time, and she can run the times required to take this race out. But just, although they stand out form-wise and you have to put them in your selections, maybe this is a race to just have a look at a couple of nice horses go round, because they certainly, Sir Nate without that jump out or trial after freshening up out of Riccarton, and Miss Labasa with an issue post that last start win, I'm not sure they'll be really screwed down. They both will head to the Karaka 3-year-old Million, but they're on top, 4 to beat 1. The 3 Emily Margaret, you know this horse well, showed a lot early on, and a good quality horse, and wasn't a bad run behind Media Sensation. And then Petra Bella down towards the bottom of the book. You spoke to Leith, and clearly that win on debut was the form line to take, and it was a very nice effort on that occasion. So 4-1, 3-7 in the second.
Let's have a look at race number 3, and here's just a small field. Kalani has a good record second up. Ryan Elliott's flying at the moment, $2.40. Darscape Princess well in at $3, and $5.50 you go for Scolo and Henny, the quality mare, with a couple of kilos off Danielle Hirini, as we head to Stephen Hunt for your thoughts around race number 3.
Punters targeting 2 runners here, the 2 top line favourites in Kalani and also Darscape Princess, Greg. Look, Kalani has obviously come back very well from the Roger James stable. The fact that the money was on first up at Te Rapa, missed the start fractionally, but gee, it was a ripping run down the home straight, running top sectionals around Kalani and still nominated for the Telegraph at $41. Would be wanting to win this, no doubt, Kalani for that stable if they want to progress on to the Group 1 in a few weeks' time. $2.40 off a peak of $2.50, holds 4 times more money than Darscape Princess, but Darscape Princess back on a better track. We're keeping this fairly safe at HQ, Darscape Princess. We believe that's our only chance to beat Kalani at a $3 line. Outside that, the rest of the field, even though it's a small field, Greg, have been friendless.
Let's have a look at the speed map for the third on the program, and you go for Scolo. We know how good he was earlier on in his career. He got himself close to $400,000 in the bank. Can he get back to his best here today? Well, if he is, to Bevan, he's a $5.50 chance.
He'll be up against it today, against a couple of smart ones. Clearly Kalani is a very nice horse. Darscape Princess is a Group 1 horse. Her preparation has just been sort of mucked up, really, for the want of a better word, through the off-track conditions she's faced throughout this preparation. She gets a good track today. Expect a much improved performance. And she'll be a couple of places more forward than this particular horse, but he is sharp. Kalani, Ryan Elliott, riding for the James and Wellwood team at the present. 6-year-old gelding by O'Reilly, and gee, was good. You can't do a lot of this sort of stuff at Te Rapa. They generally kick off the front, and they did again here in this horse. She's got a big extravagant action, he's got a bit of body to him, and he found the line very, very nicely. So can he stand Darscape Princess 2 or 3 lengths on the turn and pick her up? She's 100% ready to rock and roll, and she's had that amount of racing now to suggest she should be right up to the mark. She's got a good record at the triple, though she's going to be better over 1,600 metres and 2,000 metres. From that gate, I think they'll be positive. Try and get her back in winning form on top of the ground. So she's on top over the 4 Killarney. Henny is a very good mare, and she's getting a couple of kilos off in this race down to the 58, and then Ugo for Scholar, if the real horse and the serious horse that we knew early on in his career turned up here this afternoon, he'd lead them a merry dance off the front as well. But 2 to beat 4, 1 and 3.
Good competitive race that will be. We get to see the very smart Cinerama go round in race number 4. We know there's been a $20,000 bet, $2.70 to $2.20, now $2.10. Jonathan Parks doing the riding, of course, and one of the reasons he's so short in the Jockeys Challenge today. $5.50, she's not bad, and then a couple under the quote of $10 at $9.50. You'll have to try and tempt the punters away from Cinerama here, Stephen.
We're trying, Greg, we're trying, let me tell you, but it just seems not to be working. Around Cinerama was a 6-figure loss back on the 1st of December at Wanganui and rating 65 company. Look, she has to step up to 72 gallopers, but Alan Sharrock believes she's black type material later on in her preparation / career. $2.70 we posted on, I think it was Thursday afternoon or Wednesday afternoon, one of those afternoons now, but $2.70 Cinerama at $2.70, $5,000 bet at $2.20, a 20k bet at the $2.70. Just crunching a few numbers, 913 multis running through her. The next best is She's Not Bad at 72. She holds $45,000 worth of money on single bets, and the total pool is $49,000. So she really does dominate betting Cinerama. She is the best backed up and down the country, Greg. She could easily start in the red later on this afternoon, Cinerama.
Judging by what you've just said then, I think it's almost a certainty, Bevan Sweeney, that she will. What about map-wise? We see her being about midfield.
Yeah, I think only the run beats her because she is drawn a little bit awkwardly. So I don't know if you can keep stepping up into 72 grade and be 3 wide the trip as this horse has been through its last couple of starts. But I expect her to win, Greg, and I expect her to make up or make it into a pretty serious sort of grade. Of course, we've seen out of She's Sensational. She's also produced House of Cartier, who has been going very, very nicely in the north. I think they'll get a bit of a hit again, the bookmakers. She's hit 3 wide the trip this day. There was 20,000 on this afternoon, and there's some fair ponies in behind her. Midnight Story towards the inside's come out in 1 cinch. Jackleberry's gone a nice race post this performance. The one in the inside was that Lubea getting chopped up as a smart pony, and she's just dead set margined them late in this particular race. Look at her stretch, and she's learning all the time. If she gets one off cover, this race is over. 6 Cinerama on top, 5 She's Not Bad, 2 the Ripper, my favourite horse in the Central Districts, the Gunslinger, and I put in the 10 down the bottom as well, Hot Fuss. I didn't think its form lines were out of a race like this, but I think she's going somewhere near the top, Greg, and so today, unless the run goes horribly against her, I think the bookies will be taking a $100,000 loss again.
Hard to argue with that, and Stephen and his team will be trying to get the punters to get involved in some others, but it will not be easy. Let's continue with our preview out of Martin and go to race number 5. Hanger the favourite here, first up in a wee while, $3.20. Blonde Line just keeps on winning, Stephen, $4.60.
Absolutely, Greg, and I think I've nailed this horse in the terms of what track conditions the five-year-old mare wants. On paper, it suggests heavy tracks, but I think in the last 12 months she's shown her best form and ratings on dead/good tracks, and she only fell in on a heavy track on ability-wise last start. So back on a dead 4/maybe a good 3 later on this afternoon. She has to be right in the mix, Blonde Line. $6.80 when betting commenced, now to $4.60, the best lead I can give you over the 1,200 metres, in front of Hanger, who currently holds that top line at $3.20, but from what I'm seeing, Greg, there's definite improvement on this individual, so maybe bet with a little bit of caution around Hanger today. Bevan Street in that third line of betting, rock solid for the Stephen Marsh team at $5.50. Little bit of specking around Casa Quinman at $13, as is All Amana also sharing that same line, but the best lead I can give you, Blonde Line, for going 6 in a row.
Yeah, certainly in wonderful form. Let's have a look at where they're going to line up here in terms of the speed, and we expect Blonde Line to be in front and giving us a side again here, Bevan.
Yeah, and the rail out 5 metres helps a lot with Blonde Line, but it is very difficult to go, 5 in a row and step up again and weight-wise, etc. So it's to be very, very good, but the reports are the horse is still flying and she'll be in front and give them something to chase. I thought there was another one forgotten in this particular race. We will show you a few. Here's Blonde Line. Now, I'm going to take you back to the race prior to the last start run, because this was on better track conditions and a pretty sharp sort of field, and she just gave them the absolute slipper here. Got to the corner, Taike Allen just clicked Blonde Line up and off and gone. Now, if they leave her alone in front, they'll be in all sorts of strife here with the rail out 5 metres, because she can really quicken and keeps up a very strong gallop. And she was brave here on off-track conditions on Boxing Day, so she's one of the big form includes in this particular race. But I thought there was others. Hanger's a sharp sort of horse, and we go back to the run at the end of last preparation. Now this at Te Rapa, track conditions at this point, as you can probably see from those clods flying, we're a little bit off, but he's a smart gelding by O'Reilly. This only the 9 starts, the 2 wins and the 4 minor placings, and he flew this day behind a pretty good pony in Power O'Hara, who you can see it not really knowing how to balance up Power O'Hara, but this horse came up the inside, off the heels, and really dug late to only go down a very short margin. Gee, like the stretch about him. He's a lovely horse by O'Reilly for the James and Wellwood team. He'll be in the mix. He may just get the sit on the back of Blonde Line. If he can stay that little bit handier, it'll be an interesting go to the line. And here's the forgotten one, Peaceful. I know she's a 3-year-old filly in some pretty serious sort of grade here. She's by Savabeel. This is the performance at Flemington. Now, she was beaten a length and a half behind Wild Planet on this occasion, and there wasn't a lot of luck here. She got squeezed up, she was in very tight quarters, and then there was just no run down the home straight. There was just no gap to go through. I think she had enough there to offer and go through if she got the right run. But watch you go to the line hard held in a pretty good type of race at Flemington. So she's got really good ability piece, so I'm going to put her on top to win the race from a reasonable sort of gate with the Inford and Ryan Elliott aboard. Over the 4 Blonde Line, she may just turn the corner and be off and gone and win, but very difficult to win 5 in a row. But gee, she's really developed strongly for now Chrissy Banbury. The 6 Hangers in the mix in the 1. Look, Keza Quinman will go to the Telegraph. Has to carry the 61.5 today, so expect him to be hitting the line as a preparation run to go to Trentham and take on the big guns over the sprinting trip. Greg?
7, 4, 6 and 1 first leg of the Lake Quaddie. You might need a few in that, judging by what Bevan's had to say there. Let's have a look at the second leg, which is race number 7. This one, we are up to the 2,100 metres, and a more open go here. Shared Secrets for Leith Innes, our favourite at $4.80, but a very loose one here, Stephen.
Probably one of the most open races on the card, Greg. Shared Secrets, $4.80, the fair, well supported, but They're specking 4 or 5 runners here, including Lincoln Star, the local, at 5.5. Lady Peyton from the north, rock solid in that second line of betting at $5.50. Interesting runner here, number 11, Off With Her Head. Now, that was a late nomination into the Wellington Cup yesterday, Greg, so we included it in futures markets, currently $26. We'll have to be running at least in the top 2 here to progress onto that feature later on in the coming month. Commander Lincoln well supported at $12, currently a losing result. And also Real Beach, who got the bickies for the punters a few weeks ago. Punters reinvesting here at $12. And just back to Peaceful, I did hear that it's Sween's top election in the previous. Look, there's no money for that individual yet, no doubting its ability. It might be a key interview if Bevan can get someone interviewed later on this afternoon through that stable. From what money's saying, it might need the run Peaceful in the previous.
Excellent information there, Stephen. There you go. Hunty's trying to help you out with who you need to interview today, Bevan, and I think it's a pretty good lead to Abacus, Lady Peyton and All in Stitches. The 3 likely to go forward, and how do you assess this one? This is not an easy race, I don't think.
This is a deep race for a 72 stayers. Gee, there's a lot of form in this particular race, so hard to really put the circle around one. And Stephen's right, if there's no money for a Baker and Forsman runner, you get a little bit concerned about its chances here this afternoon. Gee, I could have showed you half the field in this particular race, and I probably am actually, having a look at the videos I've lined up for you. First and foremost, we're going to have a look at Red Cloud now. Just forgive the run last start at Trentham over the 2,500 metres. He hated the off track and never really got moving. Big chestnut horse with a big long stride. That Shed Secrets with the blinkers on, red cap. About to hit the front there, and this horse just kept on going through the gears on the better track condition and got up right on the money line. These leading roll down towards the inside for Gary Vile. So he is a nice stayer. I know Fraser thinks this horse will get up to the cup trip of the 3,200 metres in time, maybe even this year in the Wellington Cup. So expect a better performance from him. This is Shed Secrets. Money went on at Wanganui, and it was a good ride. He got into the right spot, young Dylan Turner, and he will ride Real Beach, so that's of interest. But she's always shown a lot of ability. Since we saw her win the St Leger trial at Otaki, she can put in a rough one, but when she's good, she is very, very good, and she was a margin too good on this occasion. Now, this is a much, much stronger field, but the money on is of good interest, and she is a very good staying mare. Here's Real Beaches beating All in Stitches here at our pony, and you can pick up Off With Her Head in this race as well, and we're going to show you Off With Her Head at a next start. In fact, we probably don't have to. You can just watch this run and understand why Off With Her Head won at her next start. There's Real Beach in the centre of the track in the hands of Dylan Turner. All in Stitches comes one off, and Real Beach Off With Her Head is right down the outside, and watch a bit of ping about her. But this horse has been improving. It had been unlucky through its first 2 runs, got to this race, and under a good ride delivered nicely. Off With Her Head. That's why it won next start. And it'll be a competitor in this race. It's deep. Look, I've gone with Shed Secrets and not a lot of confidence. I think Red Cloud was the value in the race. Don't forget Lincoln Star as well. This horse has ability. And then I put in the 11 Off With Her Head. I've left out Real Beach, but Greg, if you like one, just take one, because this is going to be a really deep form race going forward, race number 6.
Heard Tracy Bliss talking about how they came up with Off With Her Head. I think it was her daughter who named the horse, and $26 in the Wellington Cup. Well worth having a look at if she goes well today, of course. Right, let's move on to the Gallagher Martin Cup. What a terrific contest this is. Equal favourites, Duplicity and Mental Telepathy, both out of the Riccarton Carnival, of course, and Duplicity's gone on with it from then. Jack Starr, luckless last time. Linko Prince has Chris Johnson today. Where's the money coming here, Stephen? Because there is several chances here. Bellum $7.50. They don't stop there either. The runners under double figures.
It's hard to rule out any runner here, even including China Star, who's been spec'd at a $31 quote, Greg. But going back up to the top of the market, Duplicity, Mental Telepathy, $5 each of 2. Duplicity, best back runner, most popular runner today. Probably holds around about 3 times more money than Mental Telepathy at this stage. I'm seeing I'm predicting a late rally for Mental Telepathy just out of the powerful Baker Forsman stable later on this afternoon. Not sure who's going to close favourite in what is a very open cup. Alenko Prince, $6. There's potential this horse could drift, Greg, from what I'm seeing. Maybe peaking for the 2 mile race, the Wellington Cup, in a few weeks' time for the Allred barn. Jack Star, $6. Well supported. A little bit surprising it's been back so heavily at Alpuni. I thought it's more of a Trentham horse, but Jack Star well supported in the line its last 2 or 3 starts. Samson, $6.50, always gets plenty of admirers in these feature cups. And a little bit of specking around Maygrove, looking for win number 10, possibly his last race start if he doesn't perform, Maygrove, but again, he has to carry top weight. But best lead I can give, in particular in the first 3 to 4 hours this morning of trading, has been Duplicity to $5 equal fave.
Yeah, of course, Maygrove's record here at this track has to be respected alone. Let's have a look at the speed map here and where they're likely to land. Well, which one of these is going to lead here, Bevan? Because that might give us an indication of how this race could pan out. Of course, Maygrove's been the winner of 3 of 5 on the track.
Maybe Petite Anjou, Greg. Depends on which Porcelain Princess turns up today, whether she gets a little bit wound up. I think Bellum will be on speed, China Star. Sampson should get a good sit in behind them. Look, I think Jack Star will more than likely win the Wellington Cup on what I've seen through the last few starts. So this is another preparation run for him into the 2 mile feature at Wellington, but he's been good across the last couple of starts. Clearly the form race to show you was the Manawatu Cup. Let's go back there now and we'll just pick up the performances of the team. Bellum runs second. He was into the race a long way out. China Star has been a little bit disappointing. I worry about this horse with these firm track conditions this afternoon. Petite Anjou is right in the mix. You've got Jack Star back and the big boy Rock On is out towards the outside. And just watch Jack Star here. Bellum put up a very big performance, little horse who we know he can stay, and he's been a wonderful performer for the Houth team, but I just think Jack Star is building to a crescendo at Wellington. Rock On's going to go on past Bellum. He was brave, but Jack Star, there's a lot to like there. Sampson's brave towards the inside. He got held up and was a little bit unlucky in the run. I thought there was 2 value runners, and they are my 2 value runners on the program here as we have a look at the second of our videos, and this is Duplicity winning. Bellum's in the race, China Star and Jack Star again. Duplicity ran second in the New Zealand Cup and probably went up to win. Mr. Racer Dotech, and that probably cost it in the Cup, although Biswinkle, as we saw at Stratford, just does not flinch. And Duplicity got every favour in this particular run. Just depends on what weight Ashley's trying to sneak into the Cup on, but under a great ride this day from Danielle, got a couple of beautiful splits, and we saw what Paisu did at Ellerslie, so the form is stacking up fantastically, and the horse really stretched its neck out late. Jack Star again flying, and Bellum's in the mix, so gee, it's even. I'm going to go with Jack Star on top to win today, but only just over Mental Telepathy. I want to back both of those. I think they're great value runners in the race, and I think there will be a push for Mental Telepathy late here this afternoon. Duplicity's going well, and if Sampson gets the right run, he can be in the mix, but I've gone 14, 6 and 3, but I might have even missed the winner here, Greg, in the Cup today.
Yeah, great contest. I'm sure it will be, and we'll be underway with that at 13 minutes to 4 o'clock. Let's wrap up the program there out of Awapuni today for the Martin Jockey Club. Equal favourites in the last, runners 5 and 9 here, Stephen.
Scarlowy and Paint the Town, 3.8 each of 2. Scarlowy best backed thus far out of the 2 favourites, Greg, but Paint the Town, just coming out of that Stephen Marsh barn, I suggest it will be the better back runner later on this afternoon when this race closed just after 4:20. Original Gangster in that third line of betting, 550, got out to 6, back into 550, holds the biggest liability currently in early trading, but I'm happy to hang it out there at 5.5. My own ratings suggest it needs to find a couple of lengths to measure up against a few key rivals here. Original Gangster, Lisa Allpress doing the riding. Hoist has been well supported in the last hour or so. No surprise there on the back of the comments of Alan Sharrock at 5.5. A little bit of specking around number 7, Platinum Wildcard. Another local, Lisa Ladder trained here. Jonathan Riddell does the riding. $23 off a peak of 35, so there's one to include in your exotic bet types, Platinum Wildcard. But best back runner, Scarlowy, but I'm sure there'll be a late and push drive around Paint the Town later on this afternoon.
And we heard from Alan Sharrock. He's very keen on Hoist on an each-way basis today, so should be very competitive betting race. The last, the Blues, if it hasn't been your day, maybe that's the one you're on. It looks like the leader here anyway, Bevan.
Yeah, it was very good on Boxing Day on those off-track conditions. We saw it down at Riccarton as well, and went very close in one of those special condition maidens. Didn't back up, but nice quality horse. I think there is going to be a push paint the town after listening on the radio Pete Early show this morning. The stable pretty keen around this horse and labelled it as their best on the afternoon. But look, I thought there was a couple of locals that need to be given due respect. The first of those is Original Gangster. Now this horse disappointed fresh up, but since then has really found its mojo. It was pretty unlucky on this occasion behind Lincoln Star. Got well back in the run, and Lincoln Star got a beautiful little split there with the shadow rolls on and was off and gone. And this particular horse, Original Gangster, didn't quite get the right run, but once it got through in the hands of Lisa Allpress, last bit of work was very, very good. So I think it's pretty good value in the race. If it gets any sort of run, I think it's going to be right in the mix and probably gets over a bit further than the 1550. And have a look at this performance. Scarlowy last start for Colin Cromedy, who has a little team and they are really racing well. Have a look where this horse is. What's up? I'm not dropping him today. He was 3 wide the entire race on this occasion and still managed to find the line. But Scarlowy with the Santa hat on cannot run in the money at this point in this race. But just watch what he does late in this particular race to get in the mix. It was a race taken out by Bellissimo, who's out in the centre of the track early and was off and gone. But Scarlowy, look at him. He's had to weave his way through them, come back across heels there, and gee, he was good late in this particular race. What you do have to take into account with him is that he's failing to jump away, and so he may just put himself in a very awkward position again here this afternoon. I'm going to go with the 9 because I just think there's going to be a massive push for it, and the form is strong. Scarlowy can win, Original Gangster as well. A little bit further down the book I put in, where do we go after that? The 8, What's Up, in fact, because I've tipped him out at 50s and I don't think he went badly. He's at 30s again. As I said earlier, maybe he's a horse for the autumn when there's a bit more cut out of the track, but he was 3 wide the trip on that day and still managed to battle on, Greg. So another deep race, as I mentioned at the start. We've got some fields here that are pretty difficult to work out with good form.
Okay, so what's the best? Where's our value? And yeah, your $100. How are you going to get involved there? You're going to keep it pretty simple for us here, Bevan?
Very, very simple, Greg. The best is Cinerama. I wonder if the bookies will give me 270. I don't like 210, 270, be fair. Cinerama should be winning. I think Mental Telepathy and Jack Star are the value bets in race number 7. I'm keen to back both of them at $5 and $6, and we'll just go $100 to win. Start of a new season with these $100 strategies, and I think they're going to sort of keep a record of them as they do in the first call. So we'll try and get a little bit of a profit day one. Greg, Cinerama to win at $2.10.
Thank you, Bevan. Looking forward to your build into race number 1, 12.15. Stephen, no chance of 270 for... No, I wouldn't have thought so.
No chance, Greg, no chance. It's climbing 50k liability as we speak, and I won't be surprised if it gets to that six figures it did last start, Cinerama. So yeah, it's going to be a hard watch here in HQ, but we believe there's a couple of hard rivals compared to last start anyway.
All right, Stephen Hunt will be sticking with us here on your Punters Lounge as we head a little bit further north to Whangarei. Of course, the Ruakaka racetrack today will be in wonderful order, I'm sure, and Brendan Popwell will join us to build into that when we return on your Punters Lounge.
I was made for this.
You're in the Punters Lounge with Valachi Downs. Time for us to head north up to Ruakaka, where all of the great lines will come out throughout the day, no doubt, from Brendan Popwell and from George Simon. Have a look at that. What a wonderful shot to lead us into this very good race day once again. I was going to say idyllic. Not too sure if that would even be sufficient to describe the shot we've got there, but let's have a scene set in terms of what you can expect there today with Brendan Popwell, and no doubt the surf will be meeting the turf there today. BP, very good morning to you.
Very good morning to you as well, yes, Greg O'Connor, and beautiful conditions here as we expect always here out of Ruakaka, and Should be a busy day as well. Always a popular race day for the holiday makers, of course, in the region. And really does end what has been a busy period in the northern region as well with our Christmas and New Year racing. And yeah, plenty to look forward to. And we're going to chat very shortly to Matthew Williamson as well, just to get the latest around the conditions here out of Ruakaka. And look, fields throughout the day, there's a few short price favourites to look forward to as well. And of course, with the local trainers of Gibbs and Bradley, where they certainly do have some dominating chances through the middle part of the program to look forward to. So, yeah, good day in front of us. And we'll look to preview the quaddie here, Greg, very shortly.
Yeah, we certainly will, and race number 5 will start things off there. 4 minutes to 3 o'clock will be the start time there, and here is the market for it. Boogie Easy at $2.30 comes up with a nice barrier. Cameron Lammis to do the riding. I think Matthew Williamson's going to set the scene before we get into that quaddie for us, Brendan, to give us the latest in terms of track conditions.
Yeah, that's right, Greg. Thanks for that. Yes, and we'll come back and revisit that market. Yeah, Matthew Williamson looking after things here today. And first of all, beautiful conditions, just how that track's pulled up.
Yeah, it's a lovely day we've got today in the track, and probably as good as I've ever seen it this time of year. I mean, we had a very wet December, but as it turns out, it's been good for the tracks. They're all pretty green and they're racing well, and there's still a lot of horses racing, which is a good thing.
All right, well, anything that's come up in the report of note?
Pretty quiet today. There's just one in race 3, Salvamani. Just a bit unlucky at Auckland, where just beginning awkwardly and getting back at the start, then just got held up from the 600 to near the 400 when running just over 4 lengths away behind Sacred Judgment.
Okay, and one other thing as well, I've noticed as well, Matthew, coming up in race number 7, there'll be a change of colours with Uabasso.
Yeah, Uabasso, unfortunately Kevin Crampton passed away yesterday, was a much loved figure in racing, affectionately known as KG, will be sorely missed, and we'll go with Uabasso, Wendy Pye's runner, will go around in Kevin Crampton's colours today.
Well, thanks for the update, Matthew, and go well today.
Thanks.
So that's Matthew Williamson there, Stopper assured for our race betting here this afternoon, Greg O'Connor, and yes, we will now look to preview the first of our races here, which will be the quaddie. We're going to look at the last 4 races where Boogie Easy is the favourite at $2.30 and $1.10, $3.50, $1.30 around this horse who won a terrific race, I thought, last time to the races. The money has clearly been around Noble Stride as well, and Greg, we'll probably find out the latest just on how much that's moving, that runner number 4, Noble Stride from Stephen Hunter.
$4.60 with Troy Harris to do the riding. Stephen is standing by. Obviously, on a day like this, the Gibbs Bradley team are well supported, but what about this runner?
Boogie Easy, well supported, ridden by C. Lammis, and C. Lammis, Cameron Lammis, is a $1.70 favourite to take out today's J Challenge on option 209, Greg. But back to Boogie Easy, well supported at $2.30. They do like one to beat it, and Brendan mentioned it, Noble Stride, who looks to be a pace influencer. There's a 2 or 3 that like to push forward, but this looks to be one of them, Noble Stride, who comes out of a pretty good form race out at Hawke's Bay, pinned me down, winning. Monkey Shoulder, who ran second, and notably Senor Moss ran third in that race, but Senor Moss is paying $7 V, Noble Stride $4.60. Senor Moss subsequently has run an average race at Te Rapa, remaining its price to be a touch higher than Noble Stride. But Noble Stride, best lead at $4.60. Keep the cash, well supported, another local at $5.50. But best lead I can give is Noble Stride at $4.60 in that second line of betting.
Okay, let's have a look at where we expect them to land in race number 5. And Boogie Easy on the speed and therefore very hard to run down here, BP.
Yeah, look, Boogie Easy went very well here last time to the races, Greg, and look, a horse who can really perform off those placings, 2 starts, or 3 starts in total, and 2 of them have been placings, including that last start effort, which was here at Ruakaka and behind Athenry Angel. And look, it looks like a horse who's going to be suited now to go into the 1400 metres as well. I thought Boogie Easy. So this is the run from the horse, and then we'll show you that race, as I spoke about, which was the Senor Moss Noble Stride race as well, when those horses met at Hawke's Bay when finishing into 3rd and 4th. But as you see here, Atheny Angel's in front. Boogie Easy comes across heels and looks like it's going to mount a very good challenge. Atheny Angel just gets away in the concluding stages to win this particular race in the end. But Boogie Easy holds his spot nicely and finishes into that 2nd position. Let's go to Hawke's Bay now. And yes, this is the Pin Me Down race. Monkey Shoulder runs 2nd. And then you're looking at the horses who were in 3rd and 4th position. Senor Moss, and in front is Noble Stride. They finish into 3rd and 4th position. Yeah, just what do we do with Senor Moss, who's come out and been beaten 9 lengths at the following start and behind Light My Cigar. But as we can see here, fights on well here on the outside of Noble Stride. Noble Stride's going to be a big beneficiary of this run and can go forward, and Troy Harris takes the ride. So it's form that's hard to ignore, isn't it, around the winner of the race, who's come out and won a stakes race over the Christmas Carnival, of course, in the 8 carat on Boxing Day. I went with Boogie Easy on top, runner number 11, in front of the 4 in Noble Stride. I threw the 3 into the mix in Senor Moss if the horse could find that form from 2 starts ago as well. And maybe a wary watch on the 2 runner here, being Improver, locally trained, of course, and that being Keep the Cash.
Yeah, maybe the 11 over the 4 there in terms of the quaddie. Let's have a look at the second leg, race number 6 for us. In Power of Strength, a $3 favourite just over Massachusetts, and Low Profile. Not an easy race, Stephen, in terms of the quaddie. Many will be thinking, let's just get out of this alive and take 3 or 4.
You might need to take 4, knowing that Shipshape has been well supported in that 4th line of betting at $5, Greg. Interesting runner is Power of Strength, resuming here after a run in the soliloquy against race winners fillies in the like Power of Strength at $3. Just drawn a little bit awkwardly in barrier 6, and technically I'm just not sure where it maps in this race. You've got the next 3 in betting that like to push forward, so Power Strength might have to finish over the top of them here, which is not always easy to do at Ruakaka, and at $3 has been a slight drifter out from a $2.80 price. Well supported Massachusetts at $3.30 line off a peak of $4.50. That's probably the best lead in the race. It just lacks a little bit of turnover thus far. So at this stage, there's money for all 4 in the top betting, but best lead is number 3 Massachusetts, with Kelly McCulloch doing the riding.
Let's see if we can find out where they might land in the race to encourage people to get involved. Speed there, Shipshape and Massachusetts. Others just in behind here, Brendan.
Yeah, look, Stephen makes a very good point around the tempo. Massachusetts is that horse who's got the inside gate and is going to kick up. Power of Strength is a horse who will be just trying to find maybe one by one, or trying to not be too far off them, because I think if Power of Strength's in a position where the horse is close enough, I do believe that she is good enough to win this race, Power of Strength, because her form lines are so strong. They have very strong form lines. Now, the obvious one is last start, of course, when beaten in behind Media Sensation in a Soliloquy Stakes, when the horse went round in a maiden race. But the horse was beaten 3 lengths on this occasion behind a nice type and around very good runners. But it's not just that run that grabs me around Power of Strength today. It's the effort from, when 2 starts ago, when beaten in behind Midnight Brawler and also Standing Ovation. There's form out of that race when she ran 3rd. You go back to the Hawke's Bay Carnival, ran 4th behind Le Sablier, Langkawi and Thomas Aquinas. You go back again, you find the horse ran 3rd at this venue behind Loose Cannon and Maison Roxanne. Maison Roxanne was very impressive for James McDonald a couple of days ago, and even was good enough here at this venue to run 3rd behind Very Elegant. They are very good form lines for a horse who's still in the maiden grade, and was good enough to finish as close as she did behind a horse who's gone on to win a Group 1 and Media Sensation. So, yep, that little freshen up, 70 days between that run and here today. But if the race can be run correctly for her and Matt Cameron taking the ride, I can still see her winning the race. There are a couple of other runners in here that bring different form lines. Obviously Massachusetts, who's led them up and been beaten the last couple, but comes back to 1,200 metres. This is an interesting horse, and it's low profile. This horse was beaten by Chin Chin last time to the races out of Rotorua through our Christmas Carnival period of racing. Chin Chin comes up along the inside. You would have thought low profile might have had a chance to win the race, but still gone strong to the line. Gets 3 kilos off again with Taiki Yanagita, who does have some very good rides throughout the program. It does get down to a weight relief of 54.5 kilograms. Is drawn well, where they look to try and use that barrier draw position, especially with the lighter weight compared to some of the rivals with this horse in low profile. I did mark the 4 on top in the race, Greg O'Connor, and I was happy to mark her as my best bet of the day.
Excellent. Well, we'll get some value there. Let's move on to the Egg Cup, which is race number 7. 320 about Jake the Muss has 61 kilos. Second up, there's a bit to like there, even with that big impost. Final Suggestion, also out of the same barn at $4. Repo Sun $5.50. Neeson $4.40. You Abasso at $6. Give me a lead here, Stephen Hunt.
I think I can, Greg. I think I can around Jake the Muss v Final Suggestion. Jake the Muss, clearly the better back runner out of the two stablemates, the Gibbs Bradley team. In fact, Final Suggestion, a lot of people opposing this individual. If money's talking, and that's purely what I'm going on here, Final Suggestion will be one runner that punters are happy to lay or go against out of that particular team up and down the card at Ruakaka today. So keep an eye on that $4 price. I think it's a definite easer in betting later on this afternoon. Number 3, Final Suggestion. Like I mentioned, Jake the Muss, best lead I can give you in a 7-race field. But they're specking a few. Neeson, well supported. Centre timing around this individual. Second time over a staying trip. Well supported at $4.40. Uabasso, $6. Rock solid on its opening line. And they're specking around Rocanic in the weights, and also Single Moment, who has a pretty good record at Ruakaka, even though it's the rank outsider at $31. So best lead, Jake the Muss, best back runner, but they're willing to spec a few here. Neeson, Uabasso, Rocanic and Single Moment.
Form Pro speed map for us then over the longer journey sees them landing like this. Final Suggestion, Brendan, ahead of Neeson.
Yeah, look, Neeson's a horse who does like to roll forward. He has a terrible right-handed record though, does this horse. In Final Suggestion, you can find that forward position as well. But surely the omen bet here in the Egg Cup is Jake the Muss, runner number 1, who finished into 3rd position last time to the races. Did Jake the Muss. Cook me some eggs in the Egg Cup, please. This is the run last time to the races when he was able to work home over the 1,600 metres, beaten a length behind Yorkshire Dales, who's a nice type. Yorkshire Dales did a good job, I thought, at stakes level on New Year's Day in the Ritual Mile. Out of this race is Kamina Ricosa, who runs into 2nd position, found himself back in form, and he bounced out of this and won a Taupo Cup as well, did Kamina Ricosa. So the form's nice. Don't mind the form line. Look, he's going to have to carry the grandstand, Jake the Muss, but he could be good enough to do so as well. The locally trained galloper with Matt Cameron doing the riding. Look, there's some interesting runners in the race. Even the horse right at the bottom of the book in Rocanic, who was beaten in behind Fiscal Fantasy last time to the races and will carry a very light weight. And there's been form out of that Fiscal Fantasy race as well. I marked them the 1 on top. Uabasso. Certainly we have a number of supporters as well, especially wearing the colours of Kevin Crampton for KG as well. A horse who's been unlucky in recent starts, and the sidewinkers going on that runner.
Thanks for that, BP. All the travel and all that work, it's not knocking your sharpness, is it, as we move through to the last there out of Ruakaka today. Let's wrap up the quaddie for us. The best of the 3 runners here for the Bradley Gibbs team. My Sky, according to Michelle, on your Punters Lounge this morning. Of course, looks to be a good chance at $3.80, but Star Karen is the $2.20 favourite. Caught up with Bob McCauley at Ellerslie the other day. Has been slightly disappointing, but the money just has come for this horse once again here. And Michael Coleman to do the riding. Stephen?
I think the key around this filly, who's nominated for the Oaks, Greg, that it's going over a staying trip. It's been hitting the line okay. Sectionals haven't been the worst in a lot of its races, and it's you'd have to say it's a step down in grade and from what it's been racing up against at HQ in its last couple of starts. Star Karen, $2.40 top peak into a $2.20 line. Camelot out of Isabel Mare has the ingredients to be a well-backed favourite here. Michael Coleman does the riding, and we'll start one of the shortest priced favourites on the 8-race card at Ruakaka, and hopefully in the punters' eyes we'll be finishing a lot of multis. My Sky, the local at $3.80, that is the best lead I can give from that stable, off a peak of $4.50. So a lot of money has been congested into the top 2 in betting here. Remaining horses have been on the drift, notably Grant, $7.50 out to $8.50. A little bit of specking around Midnight Duke at $11, currently a losing result, but outside that, a lot of these horses have been quite friendless. The best lead I can give is number 12, Star Karen, at 2.2.
Excellent. Should be very hard to beat over the longer journey. Where do we expect Star Karen to end up in the run? Well, sort of back of midfield, but the way she got to the line the other day, Brendan, and the fact that she is Oaks nominated would indicate if she's going forward to that race, she should be taking care of business in this one.
Yep, more distance today. The Camelots are certainly showing their wares over distance as well, aren't they? We've seen some very good Camelots in recent weeks, and this horse looks like a runner that is going to take a lot of benefit from those recent runs, and today gets over the distance of 2,100 metres. Thought this run was unlucky last time to the races at Ellerslie. We'll check in with the effort when finishing into 5th position on the 16th of December. There was a horse who was running on, just needed to try and clear a little bit of traffic, did Michael Coleman, and still does a good job to finish into 5th position. So she had still some more to offer. And if she's an improver off the back of this for Peter and Dawn Williams, as Stephen Hunt sort of suggested, there'll be many hoping and probably riding their multis home on this one, and I'm certainly in that category as well. I marked her on top. She was at that 240 quote yesterday, and now 220. I thought the 9, certainly My Sky. Look, on the face of it, My Sky was in a very small field that had sort of light form around it. She went round as a $2 favourite. She was beaten on that occasion. She is a horse who has had strong support again. So, look, we'll put her in the mix. She's ridden by Matt Cameron. The one in Grant was certainly in that same race as well, who finished into 4th position. Has to be given a prospect as well. But you did like Star Karen in the last of the day. Let's go to a best bet and a strategy. And, yeah, the strategy is certainly going to be all around Star Karen, but it will only be around Star Karen if Power of Strength can get it done in race number 6. So I've gone with Power of Strength as my best bet in race number 6 today. And my strategy is around Power of Strength and Star Karen multi, $40. And then I'm spending another $60 by adding in one runner to that double to make it triple. So in race number 3, Viva La Blues into those 2 runners for a $20 multi. And then we'll go race number 4. I do like the chances of Call Me Murphy into these 2 other runners, Power of Strength, Star Karen, and Boogie Easy as well into race number 5. Trying to build a nest, and hopefully we can collect off the last with Star Karen.
Well, she's an $81 chance in the Albesti Equiworld Oaks. Stephen, that price will roll in if she goes particularly well today, one would think. But what about in the earlier races at Ruakaka today? Has there been any movement in regards to those?
Well, as I mentioned at the top of the show, Greg, Mercy Hill's been very well supported in the first to kick off a lot of multis. Currently still sitting in that second line of betting at a $3.40 quote, off a peak of $4.50. Mercy Hill, Kelly McCulloch does the riding here. And race 3, also another ride for Kelly McCulloch. She's also on Massachusetts later on the day. $18. Just looked at the J Challenge and my risk manager. She's currently getting spec'd at $18. So maybe a jockey to put in your exotic bet types or a multis around that high price currently in the J Challenge, Kelly McCulloch. But in race 3, Bahamas, 10 into 7. So I opened up a double figure line this morning, Greg, now in that $7 chance. And maybe it could be the speed map special, because Viva La Blues and Salvamani are get back horses from what we've seen in an early career to date, and Bahamas is the obvious leader in a 6-horse field. So maybe a few people suggesting it could be hard to catch in race 3 today at Ruakaka.
Thank you, Stephen. Thanks for your input once again to the Punters Lounge and to Brendan out of Ruakaka as well. Hopefully you've got enough information to get involved today. Looks to be plenty of very good betting options for you. Of course, Valachi Downs, who get behind the Punters Lounge each and every Saturday, have Hugo Foscolo, the son of Zakinto, in race number 3, trained by Stephen Marsh. That wraps up your Punters Lounge for this Saturday, the 5th of January, when we return. Of course, it'll be trackside live, and we will be at Awapuni to kick off the racing action here on this Saturday. Stick around, let's make some money.